So today I've been meeting the frequency of frustration head on, disappointment, lack of communication, and the energy that it brings forward. And I'm just moving through it. What's it like when you are putting an application in for a house and you get very little communication from the realtor you're working with? There's no response. There's just all this delay and not clear communication. And, too often individuals put the personal responsibility on the planets because this planet or that planet is in retrograde. And I feel, when is it time for individuals to just take personal responsibility, as simple of responding back to a text and when you know you're supposed to, because you said you will, and not put it on any kind of retrograde. So it's been interesting. I've been moving through that and just opening space of compassion, but I gotta really meet the frustration and not deny it at all. And underneath the frustration is sadness, underneath it is a desire, underneath it is actually joy, because I am so looking forward to the experience of being in the new home with Keon and Michael, the three of us as a unity of family. And there are all these so-called lack of communication or delays. And what's important about that is that I'm being a witness to it. I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm paying attention to the universal messages. I am also watching my higher self while experiencing the human experience. So it's a very interesting multidimensional experience that I'm fully aware, meeting the areas in me that is also judging, and also the other areas in me that can clearly see the higher picture, and meeting the different parts of me within this dynamic, the dynamic of it that ties into the frustrations in life, the delays in life, the timing that is of human timing that is in contrast to the divine timing, and to merge that gap with love. Yet sometimes love is not accessible because what is first available is frustration. And too often we want to act from frustration versus just meeting the frustration. Today I asked Michael, just hold space for me, because I really want to talk about this frustration that I was feeling inside. And I got a chance to really talk it through in layers, and what's it like when we meet individuals that are very airy, they're not grounded, they can't ground the energy, so there's this lingering energy without it anchored. And that's the area that is definitely a trigger for me. I really enjoy grounded people. Those who are very, very flaky and just in the etherics, they can't ground, they blabber, and there's no depth coming into their body embodiment, and it does trigger me. because it causes often a lot of harm. And I've also experienced that quite a bit, being on the other side of it. And how much I appreciate those who are very grounded. There's discipline, there's maturity, there's wisdom, there's weight. And that's obviously my preference, and that's the space that I operate from as well. I have a lot of respect for that. So also opening this space of compassion. So it's been very interesting. A lot of lightning today, and thunder allow me to go through some grieving, through some sadness, through just the frustration, meeting the sadness, then meeting the joy that waits behind the scene, and also feeling it within the collective, feeling what I know to be true, and it's here to be anchored. Yet I also have to collaborate with these others. That's an area that I also don't like, because I'm very independent, and I don't like waiting on anyone. And that feeling that you have to rely and wait on others, it's a terrible feeling for me. So again, meeting a lot of these human experiences, yet my multidimensional self, from my soul monad, I am fully aware of how quickly this is to be materialized and manifested in perfect form. Yet there are other hands that have to come together. So having compassion for the journey, and the layers between it. So it's very interesting when we get to really sit in our own experience and watch it from many different lenses, and go through it physically and emotionally and mentally, etherically and spiritually. I felt a lot of tightness in my chest today, in my sternum and my solar plexus, and I had to also release quite a bit of that. I felt like there was a crack in there that wanted to also communicate that this wasn't going to happen, and I had to catch that, and also have compassion for it. And then with Michael, we went through again layers and layers of communication, and this is the gift of a sacred divine union bond. It's not all, glamour. We go through our deep moments. We have to find courage to speak through them. We have to allow ourselves to be uncomfortable, and give words to the discomfort, to be able to come out of the discomfort and find the ease. And sometimes it's very fast, and sometimes it takes quite a bit longer. And as long as we can communicate with truth and with honesty, with just pure, naked authenticity and integrity, is very important. And dare to voice that deep feeling inside without holding back. And these are the gifts that come from looking for another place to move, going through the application process, going through communication with the realtor, the lease agreement, all of that. There's a lot of light to bring into the dense consciousness of this third dimensional construct. So here I am, laying in by my altar, feeling a little wiped, and coming into this place of just gratitude that this beautiful thunderstorm rain helped me just move through this. All day a hawk has been just loud from 5:30 in the morning right on these two trees singing, and we knew it was a message from spirit world, so for that I'm grateful. Anyway, sending everyone so much love. Thank you for listening. Every step is a stepping stone for the greater divine alignment. Bye-bye, everyone.